Hey guys, so in this video, I want to talk to you guys about how I was able to overcome suicidal thoughts. And hopefully, as you're watching this video, it will help you to overcome any suicidal thoughts that you may have. Okay. So, I'm going to just start off about my story and what happened to me. So, roughly around 2017, I was very suicidal. No one really knew. I kept it to myself. I'm a loner. I spend a lot of time by myself. It does not bother me. If anything, I feel like I thrive being alone. And I kind of always been like this. I've been like this since like a child. Um, so during that period, I was spending a lot of time by myself. But like I said, no one ever really thought anything was wrong because I was always by myself. Um, Friends and family would constantly, invite me to go places. I wouldn't go. um, because I was just really depressed. And I don't really want to get into why I was depressed, because I feel like the person that pushed me to my depression, they don't even deserve to be mentioned on my video. So, yeah. So, anyways, it was 2017, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna kill myself. I don't care, right? And I remember I planned it. This is how how serious I was. I planned it, and I was like, okay, I have high blood pressure. I take a pill every single day for my high blood pressure. Let me make sure I did not show my damn address. My address on here? Because I just flashed it. Did your address be on here? Alright, whatever. Um, so I had it planned, right? And I said, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take all of my blood pressure pills all at once and I'm gonna be done with it. Right? Because that's one of the things the doctor tells you is that you're only supposed to take one a day. And the only time you may have to take two is like if you can't get your pressure down. But you should never go over that, right? Well, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take all of them. And I remember the day before I went to the pharmacy, I made sure that I did it around the time that I was getting my new prescription. Yeah, this is how much of a plan I had in my mind about it. And so yeah, I picked up my prescription the following day. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it now. And I remember staring at it for like a good 10 minutes. And then something just hit me. And I said, yo, if you do this shit, God ain't gonna forgive you. Because God doesn't forgive people who kill themselves. He just doesn't. Now, you may say that you don't believe in God, right? And I'm not here to try to make you believe in God, but what I am here to do is challenge your belief system. And what I mean by that is when I became a life coach, they talked to us about our belief system, right? And what are belief systems? Belief system is basically your beliefs that are not really based on actual fact, but more so opinion and influence, right? Let me use an example. So you have God, right? You have some people that don't believe in God, but you have Christians that do believe in God, right? If you go to a scientist may tell you that God is not real because the scientists cannot prove that God is real. Like they may say, I've never seen him in physical form, so he's not real, right? Or just like I believe they said God or Jesus walked on water. I don't know because I'm not the most religious person, and I should really be ashamed of myself because my grandmother is, well, she was a devoted Christian and she made me go to church every Sunday. I should know these things, but I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't paying attention like I was supposed to. But I definitely believe in God, right? But anyways, let me go back to what I was saying. Um, so like I said, you'll have some people who say God is not real. And then you have a Christian who will say, no, he's absolutely real, right? You'll have a scientist who will say, you cannot prove that God is real. I can't prove it. I ain't never seen him. I never seen him in the flesh, right? Just like they say Jesus walked on water, right? A scientist will say, that's not true. There's no possible way that he could walk on water. Like no one could walk on water, right? Like literally if one of us tried to walk on water, we would sink into the water. It's not possible, right? But a Christian will say, you don't know what you're talking about. He's absolutely real. Like they will shut you down. And the reason why a Christian would shut you down if you say something like that is because they have faith that God is real, right? They don't have to see God in physical form. They believe that he's real. This could be due to influence, like maybe they were raised being Christian, maybe they had an experience that just felt right to them that made them feel like God was real. But they don't need a scientist to prove by fact that he's real. They have faith that he's real, right? So you may be watching this video and saying, okay, that's cool that you did not commit suicide because you feel like God will not forgive you because you believe that God is real, right? But you may be saying, I don't think he's real. But I challenge you and say, well, can you prove to me that he's not real? You probably can't, right? And I challenge you to ask yourself, where do you think you come from? You have to come from somewhere. Do you think we just dropped on this earth out of nowhere, out of plain air? Like, no, you have to come from somewhere. There has to be some higher being. Maybe his name really isn't God. Maybe it's not even a him. Maybe it's a she. There definitely has to be some higher being, because where do you think we come from? You just think we just popped on this earth? So I challenge you to look at it from that point of view, right? Another thing, if you're wanting to commit suicide because maybe someone broke up with you, or you feel like your family and friends don't give a damn about you, and you're trying to prove a point to them by killing yourself and making them feel bad for maybe ignoring you or not paying much attention to you or treating you poorly, I challenge you with that thought too, because you're making this decision off of a temporary emotion, right? Emotions are temporary, they're not permanent. I want you to go back to times in your life where you were really happy, right? That emotion was temporary. I want you to go back to other times in your life where you were really sad. That was temporary. This is how life is. Any emotion you feel today is just temporary. So the feeling that you feel depressed and sad and upset, it's just temporary. So you're making a permanent decision off of a temporary emotion. If you really want to make those around you that hurt you, make you feel ignored or whatever, you want to make them feel away, how about just completely walking out of their lives, going about your life, having nothing to do with them, and living your best life? That is going to teach them a lesson more than you killing yourself. Because look at it like this, right? And I've went through this. When my grandmother passed away, I had a lot of regrets because I wish that I had reached out to her more, right? When my ex-boyfriend passed away, I had a lot of regrets because I wish that I had reached out to him more before he passed, right? But as time goes on, you start to accept that they're no longer here. So, yeah, your family and friends, they may be upset and may have regret that, dang, you killed yourself, that they weren't there for you, that they could have did more for you. But as time goes on, they learn to accept your passing. And even, you may even have some family members who be like, well, I'm over it, I don't care, and they don't live with that regret anymore. So it's like you did all of that and you did it for nothing. And that's not to say that I feel that way about my grandmother or my ex, because I don't. I still have regrets with them too. But what I'm trying to say is, do not make a permanent decision off of temporary emotion. Okay? That's another thing that I wanted to point out to you as well. Okay, sorry about that. Someone had called me. Now, the next thing I want to bring up to you guys to take into consideration is, I remember last year I had a really, really, really bad flare up, right, in my stomach. Because I have a really, really bad hernia that causes me a lot of digestive problems. And I had a really, really bad flare up, right? It was so painful. And I remember I was on Google, like, what the hell is this pain? And on Google, it was saying it could be an ulcer. it was saying that it could be the C word. I ain't even gonna say that word because I want to speak that into existence. And I was really scared. I was like, yo, like what if this is like what I think it could possibly be? And I did a reading on it, and the reading was like, no, you're good. It's not that. It was saying that I just need to get surgery to repair my hernia. But I'm still in my head like, oh my God, like it could possibly like be this thing, right? And I remember I had to do an upper endoscopy, and I was really, really scared. And I remember like the anesthesiologist was like, oh, you know, what are you going to eat after you have the procedure done? Because you can't eat, I think, for like a good amount of hours before you have it done. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna drink some bone broth. And he was like, I've never heard nobody say that. Most people are like, I'm gonna eat a cheeseburger, pizza, da da da. I was like, no, I'm gonna drink some bone broth because like I really want this pain in my stomach to stop. But anyways, he was like, good for you. That's good, right? So I remember I woke up from the procedure, and the anesthesiologist and my gastro doctor was like, everything looks really good, looks healthy. We don't see anything bad, but we did take some biopsies to test it for celiac and the other thing that I don't even want to say. And I remember for that whole entire week, I was just scared, like, yo, what if she calls me and tells me that I have this thing? And I remember she left a voicemail because I wasn't by my phone. She left me a voicemail. She said, yeah, Kiana, everything's fine. You look good. You don't have celiac. You don't have the other thing. She was like, I just think you have GERD, and I think you just need to be consistent with your prescription, and maybe make some changes in your diet. And it was like in that moment, I was saying to myself, just 2, 3 years ago, I wanted to die, right? And now I'm over here tripping, thinking I could have, what, that can possibly take my life. And I'm tripping off of that. But 2 years ago, I just wanted to die, and I want you to challenge yourself and really think about that. Like, there's people who have COVID-19 and they got to go to the hospital, and they have children, and they're looking at their kids for the last time, knowing that they'll never see them again. There's people with life-threatening diseases who are laying in the hospital bed on their deathbed, begging God for another day, while you are sitting here wanting to take your own life. When you look at it from that point of view, it makes you realize that you're kind of selfish. And that's what I realized in that moment. Like, I'm sitting here panicking, thinking I could have something that could literally take my life. And I'm saying taking life for granted. And it was in that moment I was like, I'm never going to take life for granted ever again. I'm going to work very hard to work on gaining peace in life. And how I do that is by letting go of trust issues, letting go of control issues, surrendering to the universe, and accepting that I don't have control of everything. And I think once you do that, you'll no longer have suicidal thoughts. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you're having suicidal thoughts and you need someone to talk to, I'm going to put my email below. You can email me. It's not a free reading though, so please don't email me for a free reading. Just email me if you're having suicidal thoughts and you need someone to talk to. Anyways, talk to you soon. Bye.